Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stuttering in Silence. My name is Matt, and this is
Gavin.
You guys have been hearing movies for the past 3 weeks. Today we're going to round it all out with movies from 2020 to 2023. So, as further ado, Gavin, please take us away to the worst movie of 2020.
Cool. We're starting at 2021, by the way.
Oh,
and it's without further ado.
You're right. Without further ado.
Mm-hmm.
Should I redo the intro?
No, it's fine. Makes for good content, I think. Anyway, let's jump right on in. Okay. So, according to, you guys already know the drill here, so I'm just going to kind of dive on in like a empty pool in my Speedo. The worst movie, according to IMDb, of 2021 is rated by IMDb of 2021 is Space Jam: A New Legacy, starring LeBron James. You are my... No, never mind. So to kind of break it down a little bit, it says, a rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of a famed basketball player LeBron James, who then has to work with Bugs Bunny to win a basketball game. That's the pretty brief synopsis of what the movie is. It's pretty much similar. It's pretty similar to the first one with Michael Jordan. They just tried to do it with LeBron James because LeBron is LeBron and
LeBron James.
The ratings for this movie was a 4.5 on IMDb out of 10. With a whopping 36 on Metacritic.
I love them.
I know you do, buddy. We could actually have a whole podcast on how much you love Metacritic there.
I would love to never do that.
No?
Ever.
Okay. Well, I didn't waste my time in seeing that. I didn't think it was going to be good when I heard about it back in like 2017. And I just decided to not watch it. But that is, according to IMDb, the worst technically rated movie. But following in, it's crazy that's really the worst, because the movie that I think is the worst of 2021 is a Marvel movie.
Oh, man.
We had a couple of those last episode. Another Marvel movie here, Black Widow.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say this because as I was looking through the movies, Black Widow was a top grossing too.
Black Widow did well its opening weekend, I believe. It did make a good impact in the box office, coming in at $379.8 million USD. But brief synopsis for the movie here is Natasha Romanoff, a.k.a. Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. The IMDb rating for this movie is a 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes coming in at a 79% from Rotten Tomatoes. That's kind of
not bad.
It's not bad. And Metacritic, the one that we all know and love, is coming in at a whopping 68%. 68 Metacritic score. Or Metascore, if you're an avid fan like you of Metacritic.
I hate them.
I really kind of hope like one of the people that work at Metacritic watch this, and they're gonna hear you say that, and they
suck at critically thinking about movies. How?
But they're literally the meta for critical thinking.
Like I've said before, they can meta critically.
Okay, you know, pal. I think you're just a hater.
Critically
a hater.
Critically.
I would understand, but no, I didn't like this movie. This movie, to me, I didn't even understand why they made it, because if you take, well, number one, do you remember in the first Avengers movie where Hawkeye was saying, "Hey, this reminds me of Istanbul," or whatever?
Yeah,
she was like,
yeah.
"You and I remember that very differently."
Yes.
They just completely ruin it in this movie because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why he says that in the first movie, it has no bearing. They make it make no sense in this movie. Like, 0 sense.
Interesting.
So, overall, I think from start to finish, this movie didn't do a good job of anything. I think the pacing was weird. I think the characters were like caricatures of themselves. I think everyone kind of felt kind of phoned in from everybody.
Yeah.
CGI was awful in this movie, and it to me it was a movie. It was like not really an origin movie, but like a tie together movie that didn't need to happen. Like I get it, you want to have your main Avengers cast all get a movie. Number one, Hulk didn't get his own movie since '08. Number two, Thor had the last Thor movie that came out was terrible. You know, Iron Man, same thing. Only had really one good solo movie. So
that Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah.
I can no longer listen to Slipknot, Custer by Slipknot, because all I hear is those like donkey horse things. Where you know, like it's something go, ah!
Yeah.
All I hear is like the
goats.
goats. It's ironic because, you know, if you think about it, right, like Spider-Man got bit by a spider, but it seemed like that boat got bit by a goat.
Mm-hmm. So, continuing. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the movie. I don't think. I mean, I know it performed well, but I don't think that there's anything about this movie I would really need to see again. Actually, me and Sky watched it for the first. Like we watched it for the first time back when it first came out, and she fell asleep about halfway through. So she didn't get to see the ending, but the ending was
Spectacular.
Like I said, the CGI it really relied on CGI and like everything being cool and her doing her like cool poses and like beating down the main guy. And then they really thought that the twist was going to be like that was like the coolest twist ever. It was terrible. But
what was the twist?
Basically, so the whole premise is she's trying to take down her like handler or whatever.
Right. Yes.
And he has like with like the school she was getting the flashbacks of. She's trying to take him down. Come to find out, he has this thing where she confronts him in his office, where he's mind controlling her, or not mind control. His pheromones. There's a chip in her head that when she interacts with his pheromones or hormone, whatever it is, she can't attack him or whatever. She has to submit to him. So this is legitimately in the movie. Her thought process here is to start rapidly bashing her face into the desk.
Yes, I've seen this clip. Yes.
To take the chip out and then kill him.
That's pretty badass, though. No?
Well, here's my thing. You have a super spy. That's an Avenger. That's fought in aliens. And you can't kill a dude or take down one dude because you have a chip in your brain? Like, that's the whole... Like, you're an international super spy. Fought Thanos, or, was going to fight Thanos. Fought against the aliens. Fought against Loki. Wasn't scared of the Hulk, or scared of the Hulk, but, went up against him for a couple minutes there. Or I guess ran really fast away from him. And you're coming up against a fat dude that's balding?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you break your face apart a little bit, and then you take the chip out, and then you can kill him. To me, it just seemed lazy. It just seemed like they didn't have a direction of where they were going with the movie. And I feel like the reason that it did so well in the box office was because everybody was excited for it. Because it was kind of different. Like, it was supposed to be the origins of more behind her backstory. So we get a little bit of a deeper knowledge into her character. And it did none of that. So. But, as I always say,
I digress.
There you go. So, buddy, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and take us into the best movie of 2021 and your favorite movie, or your opinion, the best movie of 2021?
All right. Well, following the trend of Marvel movies here, in 2021 was Spider-Man: No Way Home. So this movie was absolutely fantastic. I think it was one of those movies that everybody kind of got their itch of Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Throughout the generations, you have like Tobey Maguire, you have Andrew Garfield, you have all those guys like cameoing into the movie. And I think for a generational superhero, as a lot of these are, it's kind of cool to see a lot of your childhood people. Like for me, and I'm sure it's the same way for you, my Spider-Man, I almost said Superman, my Spider-Man was Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
He got bit by a spider. But me, it was a good. That was my Spider-Man. So it was cool to see like the portal,
The Doctor Strange portal.
the Doctor Strange portal, open up, and there he pops out because we all kind of knew they were going to be cameoing and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was fantastic. I remember that year it had to contend with Drive My Car, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog. However, No Way Home showcased what Stuttering in Silence. Film franchises are all about. This deeply emotional and epic film, with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So, yeah, it was fantastic all around. I think it gave everyone what they kind of wanted. I did like I will hand it to the MCU with their little quirks where it's like, they were all talking about like shooting their webs.
Yeah.
And then they made like small sexual references, and it was just one of those like little like, oh, I see what we did there. And then like, you know, Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland were all like, yeah, let's go, and he goes, oh, they're all leaving me. There's like small things like that. It's funny. But the IMDb gave it an 8.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93%, which is really good.
93.
Yeah, 93.
Wow. Yeah, this this movie was pretty good. I would say it. In retrospect, though, it was, to me, it kind of felt like a homage strictly to the fans.
Sure.
Not really worried about strictly the storyline too much.
And you know what? I do agree with that. People said a lot about the movie. I do personally think that because movies and things like this are done for the consumer, I did enjoy the fact that there was a homage to the people who are watching this, because I feel like in that way a lot of people can be like, oh, I get that trope, or I see a little quirk they did, and it induces them. What?
Quirk. No, you're saying quirk. It's quirk.
Tupperware, baby.
Tupperware. Say work.
Work.
Put a Q in front of it. Quirk. Work.
Work. Quirk.
There you go.
Quirk. So,
Metacritic.
71% actually. Since you spoke of those, I wasn't gonna. Oh, I got that. Thank you. I'm gonna clip that, chat. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. But I do see your point on the homage with the quirks of it all.
Quirk. Yeah. Well, that's my thing. Is I think I enjoyed it as a consumer. I enjoyed watching it. I just felt like on the second and third time rewatching it, because obviously in the theater it hits different, right?
It's different.
On the second and third rewatch for me, it obviously wasn't going to hit the same because I knew what was going to happen. But you can kind of take a little bit more of a deeper dive into like watching it, like for the plot, not just for like the cameos and crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think they did a really good job of kind of tying in some things of of Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because he was getting the trope of like being a really good Peter Parker but not a great Spider-Man.
Yes.
A little bit. But with this, it kind of tied into both. And I think each movie is getting better and better.
For sure.
Or they're making him better and better, or whatever you want to say. But yeah, I think the movie itself, as for the plot and stuff, it was good. It was really good, but it was really that first initial watch.
Sure, I understand. I do feel like there's a lot of movies that are like that. I saw a TikTok the other day. Once again, don't know who it was. It was a smaller creator, I'm assuming. And it was, everyone got a choice of a genie out of the bottle. They all got like one wish, and the guy wished to forget a specific time and day like 3 years ago. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was like July 19th of 2014 or something.
Yeah, and you got to rewatch like a movie. I think it was Inception.
Interstellar.
I knew it was one of those kind of movies.
Which, if you haven't watched,
I have seen Interstellar. But yeah, so that was the critically acclaimed best movie of 2021. Now I will say this: it is my favorite movie of 2021, but because we're choosing one, I pulled up a close second. You reminded me of it. I didn't know what year it was because it feels like it was just yesterday. But Free Guy. Yeah, Free Guy. This is one of those things where I'm a sucker for those homage to the fans.
This is even a bigger homage.
This is a huge homage movie. I love them, especially when you're not trying to do anything serious and you're just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Reynolds captures that in a lot of his movies. And I think he always tries to have fun with any movie that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings like an esque of like, joy and comedy, When a bank teller discovers he's actually a background player in an open world video game, he decides to become the hero of his own story, one that can rewrite himself in a world where there's no limits. He's determined to save the day his way before it's not too late, and maybe find a little more romance or a little romance with a coder who conceived him. So it was fantastic. And again, right at the end of the movie when Free Guy is or it was Blue Shirt Guy. Yeah, it was his name. He is fighting the roided up version of himself.
Yeah.
And he goes to block the thing, and then it's the shield from the MCU from Captain America. And da, 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 and then there comes Chris Evans. What the shit?
What the shit? That was a cool part.
It was a cool part, and then he puts his hand to the side, and then
it's a lightsaber.
It was cool. A lot of those movies for me, I love because I like lighthearted stuff like that. I do love my horror movies, you know that, but I do like things like that I can laugh and enjoy and put on and but IMDb gave it a 7.1. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 78%. And Movie Insider, right here, gave it a 4.5 out of 5. So,
I'm sorry. You said Movie Insider?
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to double check. I heard you right. I think we're missing. We're missing one.
I don't have what you're. I don't have the critically acclaimed betting critics. Do you have it up?
Say that 10 times fast. I don't have it up now.
Oh, thank God. But yeah, so they all rated it pretty high, which is awesome. I really like this kind of movie because for me, it's a good. I can rewatch it over and over again, and I can enjoy it. And it's cool, and it has a little romance scene. The villains, of course, any kind of villain in those kind of movies. Oh, I'm better than everyone, and I'm going to destroy it all. And then they beat them, and then it's like, yeah, we win. The person that was saying all this stuff had to program me, so he probably had a message for you. Where's Jimmy? I'm going to suck. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So, take us into 2022, Gav, before I keep rambling on.
All right. 2022 worst rated movie according to IMDb here is Morbius, starring.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's what it is. That's not one I chose.
Oh, because I was gonna say I thought you liked Morbius.
No, I didn't.
Why did you? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is with Jared Leto from it's another MCU movie, but it's not really part of the MCU, I guess. But the synopsis for the movie here is biochemist Michael Morbius tries to cure himself of a rare blood disease, but he inadvertently infects himself with a form of vampirism instead. This is directed by Daniel Espinosa, starring Jared Leto, Matt Smith, and Adria.
You did go into this movie before. I think you've freaked out on me about this movie.
Yeah, this movie sucked.
Yeah,
this movie was terrible. This movie was not very good. And we can tell that by the rating from IMDb coming in a 5.1 out of 10.
Yikes.
And a whopping Metacritic score here of a 35. Okay. However, the movie that I have chosen that I think is worse than this movie, and I'm not going to go on a tangent about it, but I could. Believe you me, I could. is Avatar, The Way of the Water. The Way of Water.
Yes. Okay.
This movie, and I'm just gonna be blunt here, sucked in every facet.
You and the entire internet are agreeing right now.
We waited
10 years?
12 years
12 years.
for this movie to come. No. What was it? The first one came out, what, 09?
Yeah.
09 to 2022, so 11 years, whatever. This movie came out. All right, before I get into my rant, let me read off the synopsis here of the movie. So, the synopsis you're getting into it says, Jake Sully and, I forget her name, Neytiri, whatever, have formed a family and are doing everything to stay together. However, they must leave their home and explore the regions of Pandora. It's not even a good music app. When an ancient threat resurfaces, Jake must fight a difficult war against the humans. This movie was given rated a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, coming in with a 76% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 67 Metacritic score, 67% there.
Fuck Metacritic.
So, it did well in the box office. The budget for this movie was $460 million, but grossing over $2.32 billion.
What?
In the box office.
I guess everyone I guess was waiting for it. I mean, I know you haven't been, but the Pandora land over at Disney is like wicked.
Really?
Say what you want about Disney, but when they build shit like that, dude, it's wicked.
All right, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah.
No, this movie, everybody was hyped for it. I remember even I was hyped for it because when the first one came out, I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. I didn't get it until I was a little older. Rewatched it. Was like, oh my God, this movie's great. And the first one really is cool. This one, it didn't need to happen. Or they could have waited more time because it's at a certain point when you're at like past, I think, 5 years on a sequel, and even passing 10 years, I don't think people are going to hate to wait much longer. So you could have done some test groups, probably gotten some negative-ish reviews, and I mean they made $2.3 billion. I can't really talk here, I just think that I just didn't enjoy it because it felt to me like just a big blockbuster movie. It didn't feel like an Avatar movie.
Sure, yeah.
Because even if you watch the Avengers movies, not all of them are great, but they feel like Avengers movies. If you watch the Dark Knight trilogy, I'm just naming superhero movies off the top of my head because we were just talking about it, but it feels like it's the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
And you can do same with any real solid movie. Like if you watch the first movie to the third movie, most of the time they feel the same.
Yeah.
Within reason, right? But this one, it obviously felt the same. It looked the same, but it looked the same, and you knew you were watching an Avatar movie. But just the way it shook down and it kind of was the same thing as the first one.
Yeah.
Right. You had, and it paralleled the first one so much that I remember we were in the actual theater. And I had that thought in my head of like, wow, this literally is just the first one because it's the same premise.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You have they ran away to a different island. They have to learn about the island and learn how the island works and the people there.
Yeah.
Then you have the bad evil humans come in, set everything on fire, kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But then you fight the humans and beat them.
And then the people of the island didn't like them.
Right.
And they drove. Yeah.
So it literally was pretty much the same movie, just with different people in different parts for the plot.
Didn't we watch this together?
Yeah, we went to the
movies. Yes.
It was like because it was at the end of 22. I want to say it was like Tuesday movie we saw.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was opening weekend. I don't remember.
I probably think it's safe to say it was a Tuesday.
It was a bunch of us though. It was you, me, I think.
Yeah.
Gio maybe.
Yeah, a bunch of us went.
I don't remember.
Either way.
But yeah. Excuse me, this one definitely missed the mark for me. And like I said, it grossed high. A lot of people did like it and enjoy it, but I just remember being in the theater feeling really disappointed at what I was watching.
It was so sad.
Okay. But without further ado, sir, take us into 2022's best movie.
All right. So, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Gavin. Okay. This is 2022. It was an A24 production. In the year that brought us Top Gun Maverick, The Batman, and Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio, there's no doubt that Everything Anywhere All at Once stole the entire show. The experience of watching this film is something that is hard to describe, especially for how chaotic and nonsensical it really is, and it seems on the surface. However, there is it touches on an Asian culture with such depth and care that it is impossible to go unnoticed in pop culture. The masterpiece starring Michelle Yeoh, Kei Hu, Kwan Stefan Hasu, Jamie Lee Curtis was fun to watch as it ripped our hearts. The IMDb gave it a 7.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 93%. Wow. And Letterboxd gave it a 4.3 out of 5.
Really?
So I did not see this movie. I heard a lot about it. And then I fell on the wayside of one of those things where it's like, Matt, you have to watch this. All these other movies came out. We're all kind of doing our own thing. And it kind of fell to the wayside. If you're looking at the Metacritic score for it, I swear I'm going to burn the laptop down.
I'm literally not.
Okay. Did you see this movie?
No.
Okay.
I heard a lot of good things about it, but I never got a chance to go see it. And I think it won an Oscar, right? Or it won something. I remember hearing it did something. It won something for, I think it was an Oscar, or maybe it was, maybe I made that up in my head, but no, I definitely heard about it, but I wanted to see it. I just never really got around to it. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll watch it next weekend.
I was the same way.
And then I'll watch it next weekend, and then 2 weeks go by, you're like, oh yeah. And I think it's out on Netflix.
Maybe I'll watch it.
It's on something.
Yeah.
You might just have to buy it or rent it, but no, I haven't seen it.
Well, yeah. So I guess I'll put that on my watch list. For my choice of that year, you're not gonna like this. Black Adam. Partially chosen because I didn't see a lot of movies that year. And with doing research on the movies that came out that year, just to like hone in on what's going on.
I understand.
Are you making fun of me right now?
No. I'm just. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. An ancient Kodoa. Okay. Teth Adam was bestowed the almighty powers of the gods. After using these powers, in vengeance, he was imprisoned, becoming Black Adam. Nearly 5,000 years have passed, and Black Adam has gone from man to myth to legend. Now free, his unique form of justice, born out of rage, is challenged by modern-day heroes who form the Justice Society. So this was obviously starred by The Rock.
You mean Dwayne Johnson?
Never seen them in the same spot twice.
It's facts.
So think about it.
They might be the same person. Like Batman.
I'm Batman. Am I doing it right?
Maybe we just...
Justice. I'm Justice.
Maybe we just retire that.
For 3 hours straight. I'm Justice. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Twilight Zone. I'm Justice. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was for 3 hours. Was the man
me. I'm not wearing hockey pants. Oh God.
What'd you say? Oh, I'm just okay. I'm done. Jesus. But yeah. So, IMDb was a 6.2 out of 10. Rotten. Stop laughing. It's not funny.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%.
Is that what it was? Really? Let me look it up. That's great.
No. It's
Are you sure?
fine.
100%, man. That's really good.
Treinta Nueves.
Oh.
At 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I knew what number you said.
And then I don't even want to. The other one is.
And
What's the
most
other one?
important.
It's not.
The most important. Come on. Just come on.
Okay, so Letterboxd. It's a weird way to spell.
You're going to tarnish their name. Is that what you're going to do?
Metacritic gave it a 41%. So,
Metacritic.
I thought, I thought it was at least a decent watch. I didn't mind it. I thought it was cool. But for me, not seeing that many movies that year, me doing some research, trying to figure out which ones I've seen that I liked the most, this one was chosen. So
I understand it. No, I know I give you shit for it, but I get it. If you haven't really seen too many movies, you got to pick from. But that's the whole point.
But genuinely, I did like the movie. I would watch it again. I would recommend it to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And that's the other thing, I think, a little sidebar here. I do think in terms, you know how you say, obviously, I'm a movie snob? Like, I don't like any movie.
You a movie star? I would never.
What? Well, the reason for that is because when you're asking me, like, did I like the movie or was it a good movie? And then, no, like, their X movie is not good, right? But did I enjoy the movie? A lot more often than times than not, I will enjoy a movie, even if it's terrible. So you keep asking me if it's a good movie, not whether or not I enjoyed it. But I'm not going to tell you Black Adam was a good movie. But if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So-
I respect that. I respect that.
But one movie, now I know I'm doing the worst, but I wanted to branch out a little and do the best for a quick second. So this is weird. It's in the worst category for 2023.
Oh, no.
But so the IMDb worst technically rated movie, the worst rated movie according to IMDb here is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, this caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah, do you want to watch it?
I've already seen it.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
Oh. So it's not rated, like rated M or PG-13 or R or something, or MA. It is given, it has a whopping 2.9% on or 2.9 stars out of 10 on IMDb.
Interesting.
And this is the most important score.
Kill yourself.
What do you think Metacritic gave it?
Well, I'd probably say we go with 26%.
That's correct. 16%. There's 16 Metacritic score out of 100. And in the synopsis of the movie here says, after Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food. I've heard about it because they made two now. They made two,
Yeah.
I think.
There's also a whole lore too with
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I haven't dove too deep into it, but you bet your sweet bippy I will.
Isn't that from
Bet your
Jack and
sweet
Jill?
bippy I did. Sorry. No, it's from Ed and Eddie.
Right. Yeah, with Plank.
Yeah. So I haven't seen this one in particular, but I did choose, and this is something that Sky will appreciate. I did choose one for 2023 that I think is probably worse than that one, because at least that one you can probably get some enjoyment out of. The one that I did not enjoy, neither did Sky, let me tell you, from 2023 is, you guessed it, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
She's laughing. Did you hear that?
Yeah. This movie, the synopsis for this movie is Optimus Prime. Now, really, I want you to hone in on this one. Optimus Prime and the Autobots team up with a down-on-his-luck young man, an aspiring historian, and with a powerful faction of Transformers known as the Maximals, to combat a sinister force from outer space that threatens the Earth and all of mankind. This movie was rated a 6 even out of 10 on IMDb, with a whopping 52% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 42% 42 Metacritic score. otherwise known as 3 out of 5 5 stars for a 6 out of 10. But it made in the box office 439.2 million.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I don't think they broke even.
How much did it cost for
I
them?
don't it doesn't show, but it doesn't sound for Transformers movies. It's usually a lot,
Oh, yeah.
but at least that the Michael Bay one. So this
Well,
one,
yeah, they have to buy all the cars, and they have to turn the cars into like the planes and stuff.
That's true.
And they have to like give them brains.
You have to like animate them.
You have to to build the cars.
Not like animate them, but like make them animated. Like
they had to spend all the years turning them into like sentient beings. Yeah, I get
you
it.
had to train them.
Yeah, you have to train them. Hope they don't turn evil. And then when like someone does, yeah,
It's just unfortunate, really. But this one, it honestly has one of my favorite parts of any Transformers movie because the Maximals, right? So you have Optimus Prime and the Autobots. Roll out. Autobots, roll out, right? Then you got the Maximals, which is like the same premise, except they're animated into animals.
Yeah.
So you have like a bird, you have a gorilla who's the leader, you have a rhino, you have a cheetah, like you have all these animals, right? The cool thing about it is this is actually from a show, like a cartoon from like the 90s. It's so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into it.
Happy Tree Friends.
But they were trying to feed off of that. The problem is that it's such an eclectic memory, and they did such a bad job at representing what this was about. No, everybody just flopped on its face. But my favorite part was when he goes, the gorilla, the leader, Optimus Primal. I'm not. Okay, that might be one of my favorite parts too, because he goes, I am named after you, Prime. I've named myself after you, the fearless leader of Cybertron. I am Optimus Primal.
Do you hear her chuckling in the back?
And then Optimus Prime just gives him the look of like, all right, like he just didn't give a damn. But they go into this final battle, right? And like it's a big thing. It's a final battle. They're gonna go fight everybody, whatever. And he goes, mind you, they're still in their animal form, okay? That would be like Optimus rolling up as a truck, okay? Then he goes, oh, Maximals, maximize. I'm not kidding. Maximize. And then they turn into giant, like, Optimus Primes and just start killing everything.
What?
Like, they turn into, like, they have, like, a humanoid figure now. And they just start killing everybody.
Okay.
And then they win. And then they go right back into animals. And they're like, well, Prime, that battle was... But he was so serious because, it's like, Autobots, roll out. He's like, Maximals.
Maximize!
Animals. Like,
That's bad.
That's terrible. But yeah, the movie was terrible. It was funny because the movie, but this is what I'm saying. Like, the movie itself was kind of enjoyable because I was just laughing at it the whole time. But it wasn't a good Transformers movie. I would take the second Michael Bay Transformers movie over this.
Instagram has ruined the name Michael Bay for me.
But I didn't enjoy this one. Have you seen it?
No.
Dude. You're not missing much, but let me tell you. But all right, that's my little tangent. I just wanted to get that out there because to finish off the movies of the past couple or 23 years,
Boop.
I thought there's no better way to end it than with that one. So
Okay.
without further ado, sir, for the final time, give me the best movie of 2023, as well as your favorite movie of 2023.
You're gonna there's the best one,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll understand why I chose this.
Yeah.
Kind of for two reasons, but I'll get into that because the one's a personal reason and one's this is a mad movie.
Okay.
Cool.
Lay it on me.
So 2023, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Great movie.
Sony Pictures releasing for 2023 so far. Well, I don't know when this was written, but yeah, for 2023, no film has yet to touch the brilliance of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse with the recent hype over the release of Greta Gerwig's Barbie. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. We want to remind you that Across the Spider-Verse still sits in the 2023 film's throne, Across the Spider-Verse. It had a creative and innovative style of animation that took an entire franchise to a whole new level. This movie continues the story of Miles Morales, Spider-Man, with even more at stake. Facing the implosion of the multiverse, this wild ride of a film is perfect for superhero lovers in all ages and is the best film that has been released at that point in 2023.
Really?
So that's what they were saying. Again, there was the whole thing where, Barbie was going into it and then Oppenheimer. I personally would have chose Oppenheimer, even though I haven't seen it. But from the hype that I've seen, the amount of critically acclaimed reviews and people who were watching it and the whole Boppenheimer situation, why you give me that look?
I did the Boppenheimer.
You did? Yes, you did. Yeah.
Did.
But 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb. 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
There wasn't a third option.
That's weird.
It's weird.
Well, I'll tell you what, these movies, the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, I'm telling you, they hit the mark. They hit the nail on the head. They're both great. I think the first one's better than the second.
That's what they're saying.
But
yeah.
I do think the second one was just as not just as good, but it was very it was similar in a lot of ways. So it was great.
Yeah. 86% on Metacritic. But yeah, I again, one of the movies that I have to go and see. But from what everyone else says, if they're really enjoying it, when you have critics like that, and aside from Metacritic, but I'm sure it was fantastic, especially for someone like you who doesn't like movies.
I reject that notion.
Okay,
I reject that notion. I'm rejecting it. That notion.
Amendment. But yeah, so that was the. That's so bad.
I'm gonna play the clip after this.
My favorite to round out the whole podcast and the whole series.
Okay.
Was Cocaine Bear.
Oh my god.
So what's funny is I was always called a dancing bear in high school and then a little bit of college and all that kind of stuff.
One fucking.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. I used to dance and I'd be on the field.
No.
Anyways,
I want American to know he just made that up.
Go on my Facebook.
Who uses Facebook?
I don't know. I know it's still there though. Anyways, a 227 kg black bear consumes a significant amount of cocaine and embarks on a drug-fueled rampage. He's going through the Georgia forest, endangering the lives of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenagers. This movie was gory as fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it got intense, and it's ironic because it was in the woods and people were camping.
Wow.
IMDb gave it a 10 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes was a 92% and a Metacritic score of 94%.
That was good. No, you definitely added a little bit of salt to the bullshit you just fed me, but
so she's cracking up again.
Gonna try that again.
So you're all right, you got me. It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it again.
It was 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb. It was the 66% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 54% on a Metacritic. So that's what we were looking at. But it's not about the best movie. It's the best movie to me.
That's
it's
true.
My choice.
I know.
What are you? I forgot there was a camera there for a moment, actually.
Wow.
But yeah, it was cool. It was the first movie that Christina and I saw together.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember this. I remember this because you were telling me how you guys, it was like one of your, not your first dates, but like your like movie date, like your it was like a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember you were seeing that. And I was like, of all movies to see.
Yeah. Hey man, it was gory. It was like, I feel like if you want something stupid and like gory but like kind of funny, watch this. It was cool. But that rounds out the what?
Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
Oh my gosh, dude, the podcast just
You haven't seen Oppenheimer yet.
I know, dude.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy. I'll tell you why it's crazy. I really do think that Oppenheimer is probably like it's definitely up there with one of like probably cracked the top 10 for me as an adult.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Oppenheimer thoroughly. I do think it was overhyped.
Sure.
After like watching it, great movie. I think it was overhyped, but I think when people saw it, I felt like the climax was a little, in a way, lackluster. Not in the sense of it's hard to explain because I guess I just had delusions of grandeur with this movie. Like I had these high expectations for how they were going to set it up.
And it had Thomas Shelby.
Right. And they didn't set it up that way. So it was just different for me. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, they're okay. It's going this way. Sure. And I really enjoyed it. I can't say it enough. I did think it was a great movie. But yeah, it's just a little crazy to me. Like of all the movies to see that year, you saw Cocaine Bear, but not Oppenheimer.
Sometimes
The Affair.
Wow. R.I.P. No, wait, I don't know how to say R.I.P.
Wow, that got dark.
Jesus still alive.
He is.
But yeah, that's a wrap for movies from 2000 to present day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Anything else you want to?
I don't think there's really much to add. I think we did a good job of going through all the movies. I'm glad we ended up for the last 2 weeks at least doing some of the movies that we enjoyed as well.
For sure.
And who knows? We may revisit the first two, but I doubt it. Because we have other stuff to talk about. I think the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
But I doubt it because we didn't talk. We have other things to move on to. So
Bigger and better things.
bigger and better.
Thanks, guys.